Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, I'm going to be doing the next video in my How I Color Animal Alphabet series, and today is F is for Fox. I have too many samples to show you guys. As always, there are so many fox pages that I found that I really want to color, and I don't color foxes very often. So, let's just get started. The first one, we're going to start with like more cartoony kind of foxes at the beginning, and then we'll work into more realistic ones towards the end. So this one is The Land book by Rita Berman. I found this one, and I just started doing some of the background work earlier today, but there's a cute little fox right down here in the corner. I didn't see too many other foxes. Like there's another one here of the sleeping fox, but I didn't see too many other ones in this book. But I really like that one. So that's super cute. The next one I found was in A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. They've got these two pages, which are just adorable. So cute. I love both of them so much. I love them. I love them. I love them. They're so adorable. And then one of the little foxes is on the front. So that's a cute one. In this new book, new to me book, this is Furballs, it translates to. And there are lots of foxes in the beginning part of this book, like in the fall time. There. So there's some there. There's some there. There's more there. Lots of cute foxes, but I found this one that I would like to color. I just thought it was super cute. So I think that one is probably one I will be working on today because I like it. The next one is in Fadorables, which is another super cute one. And it's a nine tails, but it's still a fox. Adorable. Adorable, adorable. Next, we get into some kind of, I don't know, cool foxes. This one I adore, from Tales from the Midnight Forest, or Tales from the Forest Kingdom. Tales from the Forest Kingdom, that's what it is. I love this page. It reminds me of Robin Hood, and I think that it would be so cool to color this like Robin Hood. I don't know if this is going to be one I do today, but I really love this page. Adore it. Love it, love it, love it. The next one I found was in Fairy Miracles by Clara Markova. This is a book I've not yet colored in. And so I was trying to find some foxes in some of her work because I still have yet to color any pages from her, really. I have one page in all of my books colored. But I saw this cute little guy right here, and I think it's a fox because the tail is kind of a little different. So you could totally color it like a fox. And I like the rest of the page. The little fairy guys don't creep me out too bad. So this might be one that I could work on as well, because I actually kind of like that one. I keep buying these Clara Markova books, and I don't know how I feel about them still. But if I'm going to get them, I need to color them. All right, then in Botanicum, I have one that I've actually been working on, or I started a while ago, is this one with these cute little foxes here. Maria Trolle has several fox pages, but there's one in here that I found in Botanicum, and since this is a book I would like to finish one day, I thought I'd show you that one. Bring that one to my attention too. And then in Flora, there's this up close one, which is gorgeous. It's just a beautiful page. And then I know in Mandalin or Moon Valley, there's several fox pages in that book too. But I really like this one too. I really like Maria Trolle's art. It's just, I love it. All right, so these next couple, so this one is from Sarah Burrier's World of Fairies. There's this really beautiful image. Now, this is the same artist that does the Portrait of the Mermaid book that I really love. But this one is, I mean, look how beautiful that is. So pretty. I want to color all of these, you guys. All of them. All right, so this one is a whole book of foxes. This is called Foxes and Fairies. This is by Meredith Dillman. It is Amazon printed paper, but the artwork in here is just stunning. And there's not foxes on every page because it's a lot of fairies, but there are a couple of really cute ones. So there's some foxes. There's foxes. Oh, I did color one page. She's got a little fox mask. And then there's a couple that are like what is that? I don't know. Foxes that look kind of like people. There's a couple of those in here. And they're super cute too. Like, look at that. Look how cute. There's seasons. This is the reason that I liked this one. So here's the winter one. Here's the autumn one. Here's the summer fox. Look how adorable. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then here's the spring one. I don't know if there's any foxes. And then there's that one too. Just beautiful. I love this artist. She's so talented. And then in Wild Winter, there was a beautiful fox and cub here. Oh, so cute. Look at that. That page is adorable. All these little fireflies. So cute. Gosh. And then Menagerie, there is a couple of fox pages. Couple? Well, I know this one for sure, but there's another one with like the multiple tails. Which that one was really cool. Oh yeah, and then this one. It's like a masquerade-y kind of fox. That's pretty cool. I like that one. Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatsopanagitsu, maybe? We've got this beautiful page with the fox. I love this page. It's so pretty. I haven't colored in this book in a really long time, and I'm very tempted to come back in here and work in this because it's a gorgeous page. But there's that one. And then last but not least, there's a couple I found in Kanoko Igusa's Fairy Tale of Curious Creatures, Fairy Tale Kingdom. Kingdom of Curious Creatures, a fairy tale adventure book. That's what it is. There's a cute little fox down here. And then there's a whole, I love that. Look how beautiful these foxes are. They're just gorgeous, and they look so like realistic. This whole page is beautiful with the raccoon and the birds and the berries. I love it. It's gorgeous. But yeah, so those are the ones that I found. I do have a little bit of an inspiration image, so I'm going to show you that really quick here. I've got just a couple of like more cartoony ones. A realistic, like an actual photo of a fox there, and then some really beautiful, like painterly kind of inspiration images as well. So I've got my inspiration. I've just got to settle down and figure out which pages I want to color for you all, and then we'll get started. So I will see you guys here again in a second. Okay, so this book here, Menagerie, is one of the ones that I decided to work in, and I have started the page. So we've got this part done so far. This is just all an alcohol marker base. This first way that I would color a fox is just going to be with some alcohol markers, and then I'm going to do some pencils over the top. So I have this Copic marker. This is YR27. It's a nice brownish orange. And I'm going to start with this one. It's not too dark, but it's dark enough that my fox is going to be a little on the darker side instead of like the brighter oranges. He's going to be more like the real fox color. So I'm just going to make sure that I have my reference here so that I can kind of see, you know, like where the color would be. So he does have some orange on his nose. I don't know why he's a he. It's just how it happened. And this could, you know, this might not even be a fox, but I just thought that it was fox-like, so we're going to make it a fox today. Yeah, and so all of this around here is going to be all orange. And then all of that area right there is going to be white. I'm going to probably do a little bit of orange down this way, but not too much. And then lots more like white will be kind of on the chest there. All right, so I'm just going to fill in all the areas with the orange that I think it needs it, and I will be right back with you. right? So I know that this looks really rough. It's very, very streaky, very sketchy, but typically if I was just going to do alcohol markers, I would go over it with another coat and blend everything together. I think I'm going to have this area down here be a little bit more orange too. And then just have like the white area right there. Okay. Other thing that I wanted to show you is on the tail here. You can use these, especially the Copic markers are really good for this, to do like little like brush flicks kind of. And there's like a pattern already drawn in on the artwork. So I'm just going to flick the color in like right where those lines are. And that way you can kind of see that it creates like hair strands more. I'll probably come in with a white Posca as well and make that look a little bit better. But yeah, boy, my coloring was real bad on this one, wasn't it? Again, it's not something that you have to worry about too much because you're going to be coming in, I'm going to be coming in with colored pencils. So, okay. All right. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to grab a very light warm gray. So I have this Ohuhu marker. It's a warm gray 0.5. So it's going to be barely visible. And I'm going to use that in the areas that are going to be white. So anywhere where there's a little bit of shadow, oh, that's the mask. I'm going to use that a little bit on that, and it's going to just add a little bit of depth. And then when I come in to shade this even more with my pencils, that'll be a nice base kind of color. Okay, so there's the whites, and then I also need to do his feet. And on the foxes, it goes from brown to black. I kind of like the more black ones. And you're not going to be able to see his ears, so I can't do the cute little black ears. But I'm going to grab another warm gray, but I'm not going to go as dark as these ones. Actually, I have two warm grays. I'm going to see which one I like better. So I have this Ohuhu, I'm not going to do it on there. That would be a bad idea. I have this Ohuhu Warm Gray 4, which is a decent shade. And then I have my Copic Warm Gray 5. And this Copic one is a little more brown. Yeah, I think I'm going to go that way because then I can use like dark browns and blacks to make a nice dark color for his feet. So yeah, so I'm just gonna color this whole thing. This dark color. Yeah, the whole thing. Because I'm gonna come in with my colored pencils and make it darker even. Okay, so this is the base layer for my beautiful Mr. Fox. I'm gonna grab some pencils. I think I'm gonna use well, let me check out my colors. I have Black Widows and I have Polychromos here, and I'm trying to decide which ones would be better for the colors that I need. So I need some good, like, orangey browns, which, I mean, Black Widow even has a one called Foxy, so maybe I should just stick with that one. But then I also need some, like, darker browns and dark grays. All right, let me just double check my Polychromos colors just to make sure that I don't want to use that one. I think it'll probably be the Black Widows, but like these colors are still pretty good. But I don't have as many options, so I think I'm going to go with the Black Widows. Yeah. All right, let me grab my pencils, and then we will get started on working on this beautiful Mr. Fox. All right, so for my fox, I have that Foxy color, which is from the original Black Widow set. I have Rusty, Negra, and Dark Chocolate. So I'm going to start with the Foxy color, and that's really going to be a blending color. So I'm just going to, anywhere where I know I'm going to add these darker colors, I'm just going to go ahead and do a light layer with this, this pencil. Now, Black Widows tend to work better when they have a light layer to blend against. Okay, so now I'm going to take my darkest color here, and we're going to just kind of follow the little lines that the artist has already put in here. So is this Joseph or Fabiana? Fabiana. So Fabiana was kind enough to draw in some of these texture lines for us already, so we don't really have to think too much about where we are adding our shading. And I'm going to go from, so I started with the Rusty, which is the lightest, and then I'm going to go from darkest back to lightest. So I've got that dark chocolate down, and I'm going to use the Negra. And then I'm going to use the Rusty. I might not even need to use all of these. I might just be able to get away with some of the darker ones. Okay, so I like this dark chocolate as a shadow color. I think that's going to be a good one. Okay, so I think that's going to look really cool, I think. And so when it comes to where the white and the orange are kind of blending together, I want to make sure that I am just using little flicks in that area. Okay, let's go back to the dark chocolate, and I'm just gonna, anywhere where I know that white is gonna overlap, I'm gonna just go ahead and add in some dark brown in those areas. And then also anywhere where she's got those texture lines again. Okay, and then we'll switch to that Negra color again, and then Rusty. And since here's like an open area where the two like colors would meet a little bit more, I'm gonna flick the color into the white area. Okay, I think that's going to look really good as we go across the fox. I'm going to focus on his face a little bit. And if you look at the foxes, they have the cutest little like eyeliner around their eyes. So I'm going to make sure that I do that. I'm going to start that with the dark chocolate, and then I'm going to use the darker, I'm going to grab a black probably, I think. But I'm just going to make sure that his eyes are nice and outlined. And then they have like that line. It's like just a really cute eyeliner around their eyes. So I'm going to do that. Oh, actually it goes down because it's not drawn in on this one. So I'm going to draw mine in a little bit. Because if you look at it, it kind of goes down into the fur. So I don't know. Since the head is turned, maybe we'll go like that. And this one would go down definitely. That looks okay, right? I think so. Okay. I am going to come through really quick and just do a light layer of the Rusty on everything, and then add in some of my shadow colors. So around this mask is going to definitely be darker. I still haven't decided what color the mask is going to be, but I think this turquoisey color that I used in the background is a really nice color to set off the beautiful like orangey brown that this fox is going to be. Okay, go back to my dark chocolate. Just kind of shade around the mask here. And I'm trying to use like little, not necessarily fur strokes because I'm not picking my pencil off, but kind of like scribbles almost. So there is a slight flicking motion when I finish like my coloring pattern. That doesn't make any sense. So basically, let me show you on here. Goodness gracious. So I'm just very small, like doing these, and then when I finish that, wherever I'm like coloring, and then I go like this. So it's like a flick I hope that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm doing when I'm coloring on this part over here. All right, I am going to darken up. So I've used my black here. Oh, I think it's Midnight. Sorry, it's called Midnight. All right, I'm gonna again do a little light layer of the Rusty on the whole nose of the fox, and then start flicking some of the color in. There is a little bit of a dark area right here, like on the around the sides of the nose. So I might do a little bit of a dark section right here. Okay, and then where are we at? Use this Negra next. And then with this Rusty, I am kind of using the like first stroke. So I'm picking my pencil up every time I bring it down to the paper. So I'll draw a line and then pick it up and move it around. All right, so I think that's looking good there. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit on his body, kind of what I would do. It's similar, very similar to what I've just been doing, but I'll show you a little bit of his body, and then I'll finish that off screen, and then we'll come back and do the white parts and his feet, just so you guys can see kind of how I would do that for. It's the same kind of technique, it's just, you know, the different colors that I would be using. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of do the same thing. So I'm using that Rusty color, which is a very light, it's about the same color as the marker. And I'm just doing a light layer of that everywhere. I can use it to fill in some of these little holes around like the confetti and stuff that's everywhere. It's kind of hard to tell where you've already been, so just do your best to figure that out. The thing that's most important is to make sure that your pencil strokes are going in the direction that the fur is going. And that's, I mean, that's kind of the rule on any kind of fur that you would do. All right, I'm just going to do this section right here because that's where kind of I've been. I'm going to sharpen my pencils real quick. All right, again, I'm starting with the dark chocolate. It's going to go anywhere where I know that these, like, this white fur is going to be overlapping. And anywhere where I think, like if I think that this flower is like just about on the fox, I'm going to draw the shadow really close to the object. And if I think it's farther away, I'm going to draw the shadow a little kind of removed from that. I hope that makes sense. So for this flower, I'm going to say it's kind of high up, so it's pretty far away. So I'm going to draw a pretty large shadow underneath it. Same with this like piece of confetti and this ribbon. Even though I've got orange all over the ribbon, I'm going to add a little bit more of the Rusty there, or Foxy. All right, and then I'm just gonna curve this out. I just want to make sure that these guys have their shadows, that we have those shadows kind of in place. Okay. Yeah, and then this shadow is going to be under here, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. These guys need a little bit of a shadow, so we'll just do shadow like that. And that'll kind of help it look like it's not right on top of the fox, like it's not laying on the fox's fur, but it's floating above it. And now I'm just going to do some light strokes wherever there was fur texture drawn in. Okay, now I'm going to use the Negra color and kind of do the same thing. And again, think about which direction the fur is going. And just do, every time I draw a line, I pick my pencil back up and start in a different spot. So this is not a continuous line. This is like this. This is like this over and over and over, but like really fast. Okay. I hope that made a little bit of sense. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Rusty color, and this is like a darker, like that orangey, it's more orangey than brown, and that kind of brings that orange color back into the fox's fur. Okay, and then the other thing that I might do is I might bring in this cream color, and depending on how much pencil I have down, this might or might not work, but I can bring in some of these highlights, with this pencil. Since it's a Prismacolor, it is more opaque when you first lay it down. So I can kind of highlight some of the areas and just pick a few spots where I want to try to add in some lighter tones, and that really helps bring things back in, especially since I'm not really wanting to come in with paint pens or anything to do that. So it's just easier to do it with the Prismacolor. Okay, so I'm going to hold that closer so you can kind of see the texture. You can kind of see how that's going to look, and I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to let's do the little ruff here and one of the paws, and then I will get the rest of that done off camera so that you guys can see the finished fox. Okay, so for the paw here, I do have those pencils pulled. I have a the chalk tone color, the Midnight, and Coal. So this is a warm gray, a really dark brown, and the black. So I'm going to start, actually I'm going to need to grab one more warm gray. So we're going to grab this dim gray, and I'm just going to do a light layer, because that's kind of what color this leg is. Okay. All right, and I'm going to start with the black. And it's the same kind of thing. Anywhere where I know like the fur is going to overlap, I'm drawing a little bit darker there. Anywhere where I know there's going to be a little bit of shadow, I'm drawing a little bit darker there with the black color first. Okay, and now I'm going to switch to the chalk tone because it's a really dark brown. But it's going to warm up that black so it's not so dark. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of this Coal color. Feet can sometimes get tricky because it's hard to figure out where the fur is, which direction the fur is going some of the times. Piece of confetti is making a little bit of a shadow there, so we're going to add that in. Again, this is just me darkening up all of the little areas where I know I want the fur to be super dark. And then I think I'm going to grab another brown. So I'm going to grab, like a more warm brown. So I've got the chalk tone. I'm going to do one more layer of the chalk tone in a few different areas. And then I'm going to use this mud color, and that just warms up that foot even more. And since the black is the darker color, I'm like flicking this black up into the orange so that it looks more like hair. All right, so there's what one of the feet is going to look like. And so then we'll grab a couple colors for the ruff here. Let me grab my color chart really quick. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with these ones first. I'm going to do the oyster color all over everything, just to get a nice base layer down. And this is going to work the same for the tail and the face. So it'd be the same color combos where I would do a light layer of that oyster, and then I would use some of the stink bug color, and then some of the dim gray. Actually, I probably should have started with the dim gray, but that's okay. This is supposed to be pretty light, so I don't want to get too much color in here. And I kind of like this having a little bit more of a brown tone in there. All right, I'm going to give the mask a little bit of shadow on the white fur. Okay, and then we're going to just kind of flick outwards from there a little bit here and there, see if that, and again, just pay really close attention to the direction of the fur strokes, because it changes pretty quickly on the ruff, because it's kind of going like everywhere, so it doesn't have a set direction. On these like bigger areas where Fabiana's drawn in, like this section right here, you want to make sure that it's shadowed underneath. And then like around the outside edges, you want it to be kind of darker. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to take my Posca pen, and I have an ivory color, which I'm hoping is working right now. And I'm just going to flick color throughout this whole fur area. I think I'm going to go ahead and outline this as well. Okay, so that is what Mr. Fox is going to look like. I'm going to do the rest of his feet. I'm going to finish off his little nose. So this area of his nose is going to get kind of the same treatment of his fur right here, and his tail as well. I might, you know what, I might use my white because I really want that to stand out, and it's just not with the ivory. So I might just use the white, at least like along the edges, to make the hair kind of stand out. Like it doesn't hurt with the ivory one, but I kind of like it with the white, I think, because it just really makes it stand out. I don't know if you guys can see that, or if I'm just crazy. Just feels like it's more. Then I'll just use some of the white to draw in some hair here and there. All right, well, it's not my favorite, but it's it's done. Okay, so I'm going to finish the rest of this off screen, and I will be back with you and show you the finished result. All right, so here is the finished fox. I think he looks pretty cute. I can't wait to work on this some more and try to get it all finished. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that before the end of the month. So keep an eye out for my completed pages in from July later on this month. So yeah, I just used those same pencils that I had been using for the rest of the fox fur. So there he is. There's Mr. Fox. I really like the way he turned out, and I am going to grab another fox, and we're just going to do a quick one. I'm going to use some water mediums and one of my favorite new books. So yeah, so there's that one, and what was the book? This was in Menagerie. Yeah, excited to finish this later on, but yeah, look how cute. All right, next one's coming up. All right, so I'm going to color one in this cute Furballs book. I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say Furballs because it's way easier for me. And I decided on this one, which is just adorable. I love it. So we're going to color these cute little foxes. I'm going to use some Inktense, and I have a couple really good colors here. So I'm going to grab this red oxide. I think maybe a little bit of this mid vermilion too, just to make it a little orange, more orange. Maybe some baked earth. We'll grab those three just to see what works best. All right, got my water brush, got my pencils here. I have a paper towel off to the side, and I'm just going to start to color with my Distress ink, or my Distress ink, my Inktense pencils. So I'm just going to refer back to the front cover and kind of look at how they've colored their cute little foxes on the front here. Yeah, so anywhere where there's like a highlighted area, we're going to use a little bit. I might grab the Sicilian yellow too. So these two are like a good muted yellow and orange, the Sicilian yellow and the mid vermilion. Those are good muted colors. So anywhere where I think there might be a little bit of a highlight, I might use some of that. So maybe like on some of those areas, maybe a little bit on the forehead, a little bit along the front here, and the same for this baby fox. Look how cute is this little guy. I love it. All right, and a little bit on the head. Okay, and then I'm gonna just kind of surround that yellow color with the mid vermilion. That'll just give me a nice blending between the two. All right. That looks good. Okay, and then we're going to use the Baked Earth to get a large portion of this done. Let's see. We're going to just go ahead and continue this Baked Earth all the way down. I am going to do a little bit of yellow around the nose. Oops, not that one, this one. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of do the rest of this with the Baked Earth first. And yes, I know I'm making a mess and it looks crazy, but it will work itself out. It's just amazing sometimes what this stuff can do, what these pencils can do. I love it. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white along the bottom of the tail. I just think that'll be neat. Okay. And then, oh, I gotta get this leg down here. And then the red oxide I'm gonna use in the darkest areas, where I know there would be a little bit of shadow. So like on the ears here, probably. Let's get a little bit along the edges of the fur. Let's do a little bit down here. Definitely on this leg. A little bit around the back side of this leg. So this whole book is really just going to be like a love letter to watercolors. I'm not going to be crazy, like picky about how things look. It's just going to be fun and playful, and I'm excited to just kind of have fun in this book. Okay, let's do the big fox first, just so we can see kind of how we're doing. So I'm using a Pentel water brush. I love these ones. I also like the Zig, what is it, the Kuretake ones. I like those. And then I also have my Arteza one, my Arteza push button, which is this one. And I do like this one, but I typically save this for larger areas because the water flow sometimes gets out of control. So when I'm trying to do like more intricate things, I tend to try to do my Kuretake or my Pentel here. And this is the finest point Pentel that you can get, and I love it. So, all right, so we're just gonna start blending things here. And you can kind of see, this might take 2 layers as well. I believe that when I used Inktense before in this book, it did take a couple of layers just to make sure that, you know, none of the strokes were visible. For the most part, it dissolves really well. But yeah, so if you don't have a lot of time to sit and do all the hair strokes like we did on the last one, this is a great way to get some foxes colored just using your water mediums. And I totally could have used water mediums on the last one, since it's a book that does decently well with that, and it's single-sided. So I wouldn't be worried about the water leaking through or anything like that. This one, thankfully, has got nice enough paper that I don't have to worry about that at all. And a lot of the times it's your darker colors that don't always dissolve, but if you just keep playing with it, it should kind of fix itself. Okay, so again, just starting in the lightest areas. So this is what I do anytime that I color with any water-based, like water mediums like this. I always start in my lightest and work towards my darkest. That red oxide just really makes that blend look very fox-like, right? Like it just kind of looked a little brown before, and then you bring that red oxide in and it's just like, yep, that's a fox. That's a fox. Okay, so let's start in a couple of these areas where I've got some yellow. And you want to be careful with your Inktense that you don't like let things set too long, because they you can get like weird lines and stuff. It's fixable typically, but it's never a great idea to just leave the... And when you get to a place where there's a little bit of lines, you can pounce your water brush kind of like this, and it will kind of blend out those lines a little bit for you. Okay, let's get this all blended in here. I'm going to flip the book again. Sorry, I'm going to have to keep moving it just so I can get the right angle. So I'm going to start with the yellow and move in towards this red oxide. I have some of that red oxide there, but that was just kind of to show that there was a shadow there, so I want to blend that out pretty well. All right, almost done with this guy, and then I can go and do the baby fox really quick, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I think I like that. All right, let me go off and do the little baby fox real quick. Okay, so there are our cute little foxes. I'm going to add this sepia ink. I'm going to add that to the tops of the ears. Just a little bit on the insides, not much. To the tail. On both of them, and to their feet. So I'm going to concentrate the color towards the bottom of the feet so that I can kind of blend it into the orange. And you got to be super careful in this area. These, the grays and the like darks, the dark grays on this, in these Inktense are super, super dark. So depending on how dark you want your darks to be, you really have to be careful with how much pigment you put on the paper, because they tend to get way darker than you think that they're going to be. And it's hard to take this back off once you have it on. So cute though. Okay, I got to turn the book so I can get the right direction for the feet. And I'm just going to kind of pushing the color towards the end of the foot here, and then I'm going to just like dab it back up so that it blends in with that orange. So again, pushing the color towards the end and then just dabbing that color back up so that it blends in. I hope that makes sense. So just the same thing, pushing that color into the end and then dabbing the color back up so that it blends. I'll do the same thing on these little guys. Ah, they're so cute. Okay, last little bit, I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the white areas. This one's going to be a little tricky for me because I tend to have a heavy hand with this. But again, you can use these grays Just have to like barely touch the page. So I'm just going to do a little bit here and a little bit here. Let's do just a tiny bit along the face here, and then maybe a little bit here. And again, like I said, this is just barely touching the page here. Because these grays are dark. So we'll do that there. We'll add a little bit right there. I'm going to do the same thing on the baby fox. All right, here we go. Again, this is going to be starting in the white area and just touching that gray and bringing it out. See, just that little tiny bit of gray just is so dark. And you can clean off your brush and try to reduce that color just a little bit, but it gets a little tricky. But you want to add just a little bit of gray so that your whites look whiter. I know that sounds weird, but if you just leave it white, like there's no like shadow anywhere, does that make sense? Probably would have been better for me to do it like that, but once this dries, it'll dry a little bit lighter too. So again, I'm wetting down like all of this white area, and then I'm just like getting right into that dark gray and just barely bringing that back into the area that's already wet, and it kind of blends itself. So it's really kind of cool. You just have to have a very light touch for the grays here. Okay, just get a little bit more of this done. Well, I don't know that that really was necessary, but that's okay. But I think it looks all right. The other thing you can do is you can use the actual pencils. Now these ones aren't sharp, so I might, and I've seen someone who hates it when people do this, but I might sharpen mine a little bit just to get a nice point. And then like on the tails here, I can flick that color, and it's the same color then, so that it looks still good. There we go. That looks all right. All right, so cute. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this page, and you guys can see that when we come back, and then yeah, I'll show you both of them together. All right, guys, we are done with the foxes. I'm gonna show you what we worked on today. So I wasn't able to finish this guy, the rest of the page, but I'm hoping to be able to work on it over the next couple of days. I really love the way that the fox turned out. I like the fur. The alcohol marker base helps so much. It makes the process go so much faster. I just really love to do that. And it adds a little bit of texture in there too, because you could see kind of in some of the spots where the alcohol marker was a little streaky, it still adds a little bit of texture to the fur. So really love this one. Really love this one too that we worked on. I did get to finish this page. It's so cute. Look how cute those foxes are. I love it. And it was super simple, super easy. Just the Derwent Inktense, and then I used a couple of water-based markers to finish up the flowers in the background, and a little bit of sparkly Posca and some other Posca pens on the flowers there. But yeah, I mean, just so cute. So there are the foxes today. I wish I would have been able to do more. Like I said, I wanted to color all of them, but that wasn't that wasn't feasible. So this is what we did today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that you took something away from that, and that it helps you on your journey to color your own foxes. So thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.